All right, guys. Hey, good Wednesday afternoon. It is 2:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopping on the air here for a tornado warned storm that has been issued here. This is to the north of Clinton, Indiana, west of Rockville. If we zoom in here, you can see a very clear hook and rotation signature heading right towards Highland, Indiana. Right now, you can see the lightning around this as well. If we turn on the rotation signal here to the right, you can see a pretty decent area of rotation that we're seeing. These winds moving towards the radar, these winds moving away. It's not the tightest rotation that I've ever seen, but certainly given the structure of the storm and the environment that it's working into, worth having the tornado warning on it. These storms right now, if we zoom out, you can see severe thunderstorm warnings all across western portions of Indiana. These storms right now moving at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. We'll time things out for you all with this particular storm. And certainly if you were in Crawfordsville, Indiana, out towards Waynetown, we need to be keeping an eye on this particular cell because it will continue to push off to the east into the northeast over the next 30 to 40 minutes or so. So this is the only tornado warned storm at this time in Indiana, but you can see out to the west, these storms have had a history of producing tornadoes. All these little red icons that you see are tornado reports out in western parts of Illinois. We still have a tornado warning out to the west as well, closer to the low pressure center just to the west and south of Peoria, Illinois. So again, this is kind of the main cell that we are keeping an eye on right now. I'm going to get some timing on this particular cell for you all so we can track it as it moves things forward. And so here's kind of your area of rotation. Let me turn this back over to the linear mode real quick. Here is kind of your area of rotation and the storm track on it, moving at 45 miles an hour. And so timing this out and taking this out, here's kind of the timing that we're going to expect over the next, let's say, 20 minutes or so. Marshall, Indiana at 3:06 p.m., Bloomingdale at 3:01, West Union at 2:55 is what we're going to expect in terms of this storm as it pushes to the east. Now, if we take a look at this line as a whole, right now, this cell up here, and then the strongest winds are in northern parts of Indiana. And so this part of the line, if you were in northern Indiana, I'm going to switch over to the Chicago view here. This is where the rear inflow jet that we talked about earlier is really beginning to ramp up. And so the northern portion of this right now is warned for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And so if we take a look, we turn on our storm tracking tool here. I don't know why it's fighting me today. Here we go. So again, these are moving at about 50 miles an hour. So here's kind of your timing in terms of these wind gusts. That is 70 mile per hour wind gusts with the northern piece of this line right now. And so you're looking at, let's see here, Monticello at 318, La Crosse 324, Crown Point, Indiana, 325. Merrillville, 330. We've got South Haven at 336. And then you can kind of continue to see the different timing to be expected with this as it moves through Michigan City at 3:53 p.m. as this line moves to the east. But just to be completely honest, guys, this entire line right now, I'll go back to the Indy radar. This entire line has severe weather potential. And in fact, it's pretty much all warned right now. Anyone in the path of these storms as it moves across the state, and I think it's widespread, going to have 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And again, I think that it's kind of in this corridor in here. If I had to circle an area, this corridor in here, where we need to monitor for a higher risk of some tornadoes and the potential for 70 to locally 80 mile per hour wind gusts as these storms move in. And so this is kind of the corridor of where I think the most widespread damaging wind potential is. But really, I think anywhere across the entire state, we're going to be dealing with the severe weather potential. And there's a new tornado warning. It's not in Indiana yet, but this is one that we're going to need to monitor for Terre Haute. And so we have a new tornado warning that is west of Terre Haute, Indiana. This is going to include Marshall, Illinois. If you are in the Terre Haute area, you need to be monitoring this storm. Rotation associated with this storm will work towards your area here over the next 30 minutes or so. I will put some timing on this storm. Here. It's kind of messy in nature, so this is going to be a little bit of a rough idea. Turn on the cellular mode here. So, let's see here. There we go. 45 miles an hour. So in terms of the arrival time, we're looking at Terre Haute, West Terre Haute at 3:20, downtown Terre Haute at 3:24 Eastern. And so downtown Terre Haute, you need to be on the lookout for this storm at 3:24 Eastern time. This is a radar indicated rotation right now, so not confirmed, but the radar indicating that a tornado is possible based off some of the rotation signatures. Now, it's in a tricky spot here with the radar, so hard to highlight the rotation for you all because we're kind of on the border of the radar coverage here. But certainly you can kind of see if we look over, we go back to the single view, you can see the hook signature here. See the hook signature right in here that we're starting to see with a lot of these storms. You know, we saw it with the storm to the north. I think we'll need to keep an eye on these down here as well as they move into a more favorable environment. And then again, further off to the north, you have widespread damaging wind potential moving into western and northwestern Indiana right now. So that's where we're at right now. We've got the one tornado warning. Here's a look at it right now. This is radar indicated. It also comes with ping pong ball sized hail. If we zoom right in, I would basically highlight this area in here in terms of where that ping pong ball sized hail is. And it'll be working across State Road 63 and moving to the north and to the northeast in Howard, Indiana, Newport, Indiana, just south of Silverwood, Indiana. And in terms of the rotation, you're kind of right between State Road 71 and State Road 63 with where the greatest area of rotation is right now. And we'll be pushing further off to the north and to the east. And so if we zoom back out here, guys, here's kind of the area that we're monitoring. Here's where the tornado warning is with this red polygon. I was just looking, the team's sending out a Nowcast update on the Clarity platform, guys. And so we're doing our best on the live to give you specific details, but for more information, I would strongly, again, recommend that Clarity Home package. I will share my screen here in just a moment and show you the Nowcast that was just sent out in terms of this rotating storm to give you all an idea of what is being sent out by our meteorologist here on the Clarity platform. And so let me move this over. I will switch over to a different view and we will show you what was just sent out timing wise of this storm on the Clarity platform. And so here's a look at it. So you can see the tornado warning there. We're trying to warn folks out ahead of this storm. And so the rotating storm will arrive in the Crawfordsville area and in Waynetown and Hillsborough, Petersburg, sometime right around or just before 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. And so this is the storm that is the biggest concern right now in terms of tornadoes. Now, we have a long way to go with this, guys. We have several hours left to go, but right now, this is the storm that is the most life-threatening, if you will. And I know, guys, we're asking a lot of questions about different areas further to the east when the storms are going to arrive. I will get to that. I will cover that here in a moment, but I do want to focus on this storm for the time being because it is a life-threatening storm with the tornado warning and the rotation on it. So again, we will get to kind of the general picture here shortly, but want to be sure that if you know anybody in Petersburg, if you know anybody in Hillsborough, Waynetown, Crawfordville, Highland, Indiana, guys, tag them, share this with them, let them know that there is a tornado warning storm heading in their direction and that you need to be in shelter if you're in the tornado warned area. And if you're not in the tornado warned area, but you're in the path, you need to be prepared to take shelter soon within the next probably 20 to 30 minutes or so. So again, this is the storm that is the most concerning right now. Here's the big picture, guys. And this is the line that's going to be moving eastward into our area here over the next couple of hours. Again, if we click here, we can look and see that this storm right now that's heading into central Indiana, west central Indiana, has been warned for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's moving to the north and to the east. Generally, these storms have been moving at about 45 miles an hour. We take a look at maybe a little bit slower further down to the south, 50 miles an hour. So generally here, this cluster moving at about 45 miles an hour. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to time out the entire line to give you an idea of, based off of the current speed, what time to expect the severe storms to move through the Indy metro area and elsewhere too. So I'm going to switch back over, guys. I will switch back over to the other radar. Switch back over here. We'll zoom out and we'll take a big picture here at what to expect. So here's kind of what we're dealing with in terms of the main line. Let's see here. The radar tool is fighting me today, let me tell you. There we go. All right, so 45 miles an hour. Maybe a touch fast in some spots, especially kind of along I-70 here where it hasn't bowed out quite as much. But this is a general idea. Again, for more specific details, be sure to scan that QR code in the top left to get clarity home. Our team are going to be sending out persistent updates as we work throughout the evening. In fact, I'm going to back this up just a little bit to make this a little bit closer to reality. And I may slow it down a touch. So here we go. Looking at Danville at 356, Avon 406, Plainfield 407. We've got Lafayette at about 411, Speedway, Indiana 417, Bloomington 418, Indianapolis 425. I would give or take 20 minutes on this or so, but it's just to give you a general idea. I would say Indy metro area, kind of in this corridor here, you're looking at 4:30 to 5 o'clock in terms of the worst of the storms. And so 4:30 to 5 o'clock is kind of the area that I would be anticipating in terms of the worst of the storms. Leading edge maybe as early as about 4:25. Franklin, Indiana, 4:35, guys. Fishers, 4:42. Bedford, 4:43. Kokomo, 4:54, and that gets us out over the next 2 hours or so. And so again, guys, this is moving to the north and to the east in this general direction at about 40 to 45 miles an hour, guys. And so we're looking at arrival time in the Indy metro area at about 4:30 in terms of the leading edge. And then we'll have these storms around for a half an hour to an hour after that across the area. Right now, this entire line almost is warned for severe winds. And so up here, this is where the strongest winds are right now. Strongest winds are on the northern edge. So working towards Logansport, working towards Monticello here, Rensselaer, North Judson, just to the north of Lafayette. These are the storms that are producing the strongest winds at 70 miles per hour. Considerable wind damage possible with these storms as they move to the north and to the east. Here's your tornado warned storm right now. Radar indicated rotation with this. This is going to include Highland, Indiana, Bloomingdale, Indiana, and Marshall, Indiana. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. So new severe thunderstorm warning for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. That's going to include Crawfordsville, Lafayette, Delphi here, guys. And this, again, expires in 51 minutes. So over the next 51 minutes, if you are in this area, expect damaging winds. And, you know, I think that if you're anywhere along this line, especially along and north of the I-70 corridor, especially in this area here, we need to watch for these spin-ups and this rotation to be possible. You can kind of see the tendency for some of these storms to want to hook, which is why we have a couple of tornado warnings on this line right now. Here, I'm going to share my live stream link with Michael, and I'm going to have him hop on. So just sent Michael the live stream link, and we'll get him on here to join us even on his vacation. So in the meantime, guys, while I have a second, again, be sure to scan that QR code in the top left. Hope will throw the link in the comments. Our team throwing out updates on the Clarity platform, specific details for your location to keep you updated as we go throughout the duration of this event. There is still, as these move east, still continuing to work into an environment that's very favorable for severe weather. I wouldn't be shocked if these storms, as they move into central and northern Indiana, continue to actually intensify a little bit as they work into an environment that's just really ripe for wind damage and the potential for a couple of tornadoes as well. And let's see here. Michael's on the phone, I think, but I'm going to add him to the stream here in a moment. And guys, be sure to tag a friend, share this with them as we continue to update folks as these storms move into the area. There's another tornado warning out to the west as well. That's just to the north and to the west of Urbana, south and east of Bloomington. There have been several tornado warnings close to the low there in central parts of Illinois. All right, guys, let's see here. I'll answer a couple of questions here while we have a moment. Right now, let me go over here so I can have this up as well. Still dealing with some broad rotation here with this tornado warned storm. I wouldn't be shocked given that if they go, well, that latest run is very messy looking. That latest run's very messy looking, latest scan, if you will. I wouldn't be shocked if they extend it, but it's marginal right now. So let me patch in Michael. There we go. Michael, what's up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on?
Well, just mid-June severe weather.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. I just got, I've been outside for a little bit, and my weather station here reading a dew point of 80 degrees. Can't say I've really seen that before, but it just kind of spells nasty weather here in a few hours. I did see the MD. There's a new MD. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It's basically saying that tornado threat's probably going to be locally enhanced or increased a little bit here over the next couple of hours.
All right.
So maybe toss that up real quick.
Yeah, let me go over to the Clarity platform here, guys. And there's actually 2 confirmed tornadoes now in Illinois. So I will highlight that real quick as well. So let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Share my screen. Change the screens at least. There we go. So this is kind of the area that we're keeping an eye on. There's a couple of actually different areas. Number one, a new watch likely coming down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we click on this and we read the discussion, this is what you're talking about. Expanding arc of broken to linear convection to east central Illinois, increasing tornado damaging wind potential as it spreads into Indiana late afternoon. And so tornado potential may be relatively maximized. Discrete sustained supercells on the southern portion in the more bent back arc, northeast Illinois and Indiana. So, I do think, Michael, something that we haven't talked a ton about, I do think we need to keep an eye on activity back behind the main line.
Yeah.
It's not very often that we see that. But I would not be shocked, and we're seeing it out here in Illinois with 2 confirmed tornado warnings, actually, in central Illinois. I wouldn't be shocked if, especially maybe with this across the northern third of the state, if there's a couple of tornadoes actually behind the main line, which again does not happen very often. So it may be a situation where, especially if you're in the northern third of the state, you might not be done with severe weather even after the main line passes.
I'll take over for you here for a minute, Brett, and you can gather your bearings. Got some folks asking out here about Vigo County out there in Terre Haute. There's a tornado warning there on the doorstep. The current threat is for 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. Just out to the west of it here, there is a radar-indicated potential tornado. Look here at the velocity scans, and it's kind of in between, domes, so it's a little bit difficult always to figure out exactly where rotation is in Terre Haute. but nonetheless, it's bearing down in on the city. It's probably about 5 minutes away from really starting. But we're continuing to see kind of the maturity of this line continue to evolve, meaning it's just kind of really becoming a little bit more organized. You can see additional development now ongoing down there across Southwest Indiana. And now there's a new warning right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to include Sullivan and northern Knox County. 1 inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds. It'll go for 45 minutes. So that'll be for South Central Vigo, Sullivan County, and North Central Knox County until 3:45 Eastern. It is moving northeast at 30 miles per hour with the potential of damaging winds, hail, and a lot of lightning. The lightning's been fickle on this particular platform. I don't really know why. You can see on the previous scan it's showing it, but you can see the general movement here. Let me go and turn this off.
Yeah, and I'm almost surprised just looking at the velocity. I know it's looking higher up with that storm near north of Terre Haute, the tornado warning storm north of Terre Haute, heading towards Crawfordsville. I'm almost surprised that storm's not warned for up to it is now up to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. Earlier it was 60, so just a note further to the north of that area you're looking at that we can look at it here in a second.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get my stuff to work here, Brett. You know how it is. I gotta get my bearings there.
I was having problems with the old tool there, the tracker tool.
Yeah. So a decent amount of population out ahead. Sullivan, Indiana, 326. Couple of other like Scott City, 335. Jackson Hill, 337. Getting out a little further ahead into Vicksburg, 343. Farmersburg, 346. Switz City, a small city there in Southwest Indiana, 356. Worthington, 4 o'clock. And all the way out there, Center Point or even Poland about 4:30 to 4:35. So I'll go back north. You said the one up north had a little bit of a...
Yeah, that Crawfordsville to Lafayette is now warned for 70 mile per hour, which I don't disagree with at all. I'm noticing kind of what we call the rear inflow jet getting clearing out behind that main line. Yep, you can see the Boeing segment there. And so along that is where I'd be increasingly concerned at 70. Some of the data earlier was indicating the risk for up to 80 mile per hour wind gusts with that leading edge as it moved across north central Indiana. And so I would take this very seriously because, again, a lot of these areas, Kokomo saw 7 inches of rain, 5 inches of rain or something crazy just this past weekend. And so ground is very saturated. It is not going to take much wind to cause trees falling down and power line poles falling down and that kind of thing. I'm definitely concerned with this warning that there could be some pretty substantial damage with 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And if anything, again, the risk to increase that a little bit, not off the table.
So the warning verbiage says we're moving east at 60 miles per hour, which is cooking. Lafayette 315, so about 10 minutes. Getting into a couple of other notable cities. Waynetown 318. Let's see, Battleground 320, Crawfordsville 322. Let's see if I've got Lebanon towards the very end. Thorntown 328, Whitesville 328, Delphi 330. All right. Let's see, Flora 334. Large population out ahead of this too. But Lebanon's probably going to be right around that 345, 340 time frame as well. So, yeah, you can see the warning verbiage again for considerable thunderstorm damage from 70 mile per hour winds with that storm.
Yeah, just looking at some of the velocity scans, I'm picking up a couple of spots over 70 mile per hour. With that line, especially heading right towards Crawfordsville, kind of looks like the worst of it maybe. And so certainly that area needs to be monitored very carefully. I'm starting to, again, once it gets past Terre Haute, we'll have a little bit of some better radar coverage, if you will. But starting to see maybe the winds pick up on the southern piece of this a little bit as well. And I just got a notification of a new tornado watch in southern Indiana that was just issued as well.
Let's see. Yep, there it is. The whole state's under a tornado watch now. We'll go to clarity. There it is. Yeah. So basically, well, the whole state under a tornado watch, except for a couple of counties there in southeast Indiana. But yeah, that tornado watch down there goes for another 6 hours. So you can kind of see the whole system here in and of itself, and it's kind of getting up and running here. We'll turn the warnings off real quick just to clear it up.
Man,
yeah,
that's like a spring storm.
Yeah, it's nasty looking. And even, you look at the whole thing, I mean, very interesting for mid-June, man. I can't tell you how really rare a setup like this is in June.
Yeah, it's not your typical June type of a storm system. This is something that you'd see more so in April and May, just with more heat and humidity because it is June. You don't normally get sub 1,000 lows to move through northern Illinois in mid-June, which is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah. Well, interesting nonetheless. So we'll keep watching that. As these again, Brett, why don't you pull up maybe the meso analysis? What kind of environment are we working with here? There's a new tornado warning, Lafayette. Let me go to, I'll pull back up.
All right.
Get here.
That's a pretty populated area there.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, new, it's not, there it goes. There we go. New tornado warning now for northern Tippecanoe County and Carroll County. That's going to go until 3:45. At 3:05, the thunderstorm was capable of producing a tornado moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. We'll get a dual panel here and show you can see where the warning is and why it's blinking there, why we have the potential tornado warning there. And that's really going to come out ahead of this line. You get these embedded areas of spin inside of these QLCSs. And they typically don't produce long tracked tornadoes, but they produce quick, strong ones, maybe 90 seconds or so. And then you get hit with a ton of rain. They actually happen at the leading edge before it starts raining a lot. So very interesting nonetheless, but let's time that out, moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. It's booking, so I'm going to have to.
Yeah, these storms are starting to really, really ramp up, both in terms of the intensity, but also in terms of the speed. That low-level jet starting to kick in.
Yeah, for sure. So West Lafayette 309, Battleground 314, Springboro 321, Pittsburgh 323, Delphi 324. If you're in the path of what I've drawn here, it's right in that black line. This is going to be a skinny threat here, and it's kind of where it's going to move through. But that's kind of the path, if you will. I tried to be cognizant of that. But what I'm also noticing, Brett, we may need some more tornado warnings. We've got some more spinning going on north of that as well. Yeah,
there's starting to be. Gosh, I mean, there's kind of notches everywhere, Michael. All up and down this line. The other area that I was starting to kind of watch was down towards Terre Haute. It's starting to look a little bit messier than it did a couple of minutes ago, but definitely some notches in there. You can kind of see that maybe some broad rotation, but not super strong there.
Yeah.
But gosh, look at the wind. I mean, the velocity signature would definitely indicate some very, very strong wind gusts there at Terre Haute as well. It's only warned for 60. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes up to 70 there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Indy Metro, just real quick, I saw a couple people asking about central Indiana. Timing on this, last we checked, was at about 4:30. If this is speeding up, it may be slightly earlier than that, but these storms are moving pretty quickly.
I was going to see if I could get some new timing on it, but looks like it's doing the old.
Yeah, I'm kind of going up and down the line, checking the.
It's locked up on me. You may have to. I got to reboot.
Take
You know how it does it.
We won't have to worry about that for much longer.
Yeah, our own is coming. I can't wait for that.
So yeah, if you want to go ahead and get clarity now, here in a couple of weeks or so, we'll have our single site radar available, which is it's going to be the only all-in-one weather platform out there where we're sending you custom updates, and you also have access to all the radar tools that these other platforms have. All right, guys. So yeah, here's a look at the current radar, guys. Right now, these cells out ahead, not really concerned. I saw a couple of questions about that, a couple of quick downpours perhaps, but right now, the main show again is this line back here. This activity up to the north, that's moving at 60 miles an hour. Further down to the south, these are moving a good bit slower. Actually, only warned for 30 miles an hour. I feel like that may be a little bit slow.
There's Terre Haute's tornado warning, Brett.
There's Terre Haute's tornado warning. So I did know what I was talking about there.
You did.
It looked, for a couple of seconds, it looked like it was trying to do something, and you can kind of see the hook in here. You can see the rotation. It's broad, but it's definitely there. It's right in downtown Terre Haute. And again, there's almost a little notch here to the north as well, but I think that this southern piece is the main one. Terre Haute, Harrison, I'll zoom right in to kind of get right down into West Terre Haute. We'll be crossing State Road 41 here right now, really, State Road 41. You need to be taking shelter. There's the airport, heading right towards the airport there. And then eventually we'll be heading towards Otter Creek. But if you are in Terre Haute right now or in the northern portion of this county, this is a radar indicated tornado right now. There is rotation here. You need to be taking shelter right away.
Looks like SPC is down.
Oh. Yeah, they were having some issues earlier as well.
This came back up. So upper air, those storms, yeah, they're probably going to, that southern edge isn't going to move as quick. I mean, I've got them, I'm going to go with 40 miles per hour right now.
Yeah, I think 30 may be too slow. 40 I like.
But if you time that out into Indianapolis area, we're southwest side of Indy, we're 94 miles away. So 445 or so.
445, yeah. I had 430 earlier, so give or take. So again, guys, there's just a lot of broad rotation. There's a couple of spots within this warning that could spawn a quick tornado. Right up here near Battleground. And then you can almost see it's very weak, but right in downtown Lafayette. And it's why I think the warning is so big, is because there's a couple of spots along this line that's showing some signs of hooking and rotation. There's another one down here that may need to be watched as well. Again, the rotation a little bit further weak to the south, but multiple notches. I think this part of the storm is probably the part that's the most concerning up here. This is heading right towards Battleground, Indiana, probably crossing I-65 right now. You can see this notch, and you can see this broad area of rotation. And so this is working right towards Battleground, Indiana, should be crossing I-65 and the Wabash River here near Delp as well anytime. So anytime should be getting this area of rotation to pass over northern Tippecanoe County here and into Battleground. And then again, kind of heading in this general direction in terms of the strongest area of rotation. I would say Delphi, you're kind of the next at play here, right along, let's see, what is that? State Road 25, and then up towards Rockfield here over the next 20 minutes or so.
Brett, check in between Vetersburg and Kingman, right there at 74, just west of right there.
Yep. Yeah, there needs to probably be perhaps a tornado warning right here, right on I-74.
Yeah.
Right on I-74, right in here. There's an area of rotation that we need to keep an eye on as well. And man, look at the winds. Look at the winds south of this. Look at the Boeing segment here.
So
Certainly,
indication 77 miles per hour there.
yeah, the leading edge here, probably some a corridor, I would imagine, through here of greater than 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with
Yeah.
this leading edge. If I had to guess an area that's a little bit locally higher in terms of the wind. And so, if you're in the Crawfordsville area, you're not warned for a tornado right now, but the winds certainly could cause some major issues as well. And we do need to continue to kind of watch these wobbles along the line. You can get these quick spin ups pretty easily when you start to see something like that. Let's go back down to Terre Haute here real quick. Now we've got 2 tornado warnings, guys, in western Indiana right now, and pretty much the entire western fourth of the state under a severe thunderstorm warning for 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds. 2 tornado warnings right now. One here over Harrison and Terre Haute that's pushing to the north and to the east. Should just stay to the south in terms of that broad rotation. Should stay just to the south of Clinton, Indiana. Rockville we need to keep an eye on right now. I would guess that this rotation that you can see right here going to stay just to your south, kind of through this corridor in here. And it should go just to the north of Brazil, Indiana.
Yeah.
Still some rotation here.
Trying to get a readout ahead. So the highest instability, Brett, is from it's east of, it's really right through Kokomo down to like Evansville.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, surface-based Cape is over 4,000 in that corridor. Your supercell composite and the tornado. Let me try to get a read on. I can try and help some folks here real quick with where probably the greatest area of concern is for these storms to continue to probably strengthen a little bit, if I'm being honest. Let me show you real quick. I'll pull up. Can I pull up my tab, Brett? Here we go. So just kind of looking at the environment right now, the area that probably has the best potential for storms to really mature and become a little bit more intense over the next 2 hours is right here in terms of from where they are right now to where they'll be. Okay. And again, these storms moving generally into this area, that's where the highest instability, the highest moisture gradient, the best overall setup for storms to strengthen is certainly right here in this corridor over the next 2 hours. And I would say the storms are probably going to be located right here, probably give or take, 4:45 to 5:15. Okay, let's just call it 5 p.m. give or take, where that line is. And again, I think as they progress east here into this environment, there's nothing really suggesting that they don't continue to mature or at least maintain strength going forward. So, just a quick update there on that. Now, I'm not saying the storms up north are not going to be severe and have their potential as well. They clearly are. I'm just saying the overall best dynamics, the best setup right now is in the area I just talked about. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think while you're seeing a couple more of the tornado warnings further to the north is because it's just closer to low.
Yeah.
A little bit more spin. Again, you don't typically have a ton of wind shear this time of the year. It's why a lot of times we get more of these damaging winds and large hail events as you get into the summertime, and a little bit less wind energy, a little bit less wind shear. That's not the case today. and especially close to that low, which is why there have been, look at all the tornado reports out in central Illinois, close to where the low has tracked through. It's why you've seen all those.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily a repeat of the April 2nd severity. I think that was the Carmel tornado, wasn't it?
Yes.
Let's see. There was a question in here that I was going to address, but I can't. Somebody said, just sent a photo of the rotation near airport on State Road 46 in Terre Haute. That's Carter on Twitter. Matt has a new timing nowcast in clarity for central Indiana right now.
Okay. Let me pull it up here. I'll go and check that out. New timing nowcast. So if for those of you that have Clarity Home, there it is, beautifully done. And that's an update from an actual human meteorologist that was just sent to everybody's phone for timing. And again, you can see right where we were just talking about where we expect this to be. He has 5:15. So great visual there of how this is going to progress and move along over the next 3 hours. So yeah, if you have Clarity Home, you can go get it. By the way, there is, we do have, I'm sure not everyone is going to love that I'm going to show this, but I don't care because I can if I want. So we actually are working on and do have single site radar coming, like you would have in like in radar scope. We have that. Let me see if I can share my. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to take a screenshot because I don't want them to see the URL because I don't need people hitting our dev site trying to get to this.
Eric would not be very happy with you.
I will show you. We do have single site radar coming, and I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited to show you guys. Let's see. Can you see it?
There we go.
So proof of concept, it's already there. We have access to it. But for those of you that have radar scope or any like lone radar app for super high resolution radar, like local HD radar, it's coming to Clarity Home, and you can eliminate all your other radar apps because we're going to have it in Clarity. And it's close. It's close to coming. It's awesome. Very excited for it. So again, if you're paying $99 a year for radar scope or even $10 a year, you can consolidate, and you're going to be able to get it all in Clarity. So I just want to show that it's coming, and I'm pumped for it. So
it's very exciting.
Yes.
Super exciting. We'll never have to be on here anymore wondering why whatever radar platform
doesn't work.
Yeah, why isn't it working? All right, so guys, just to check in on our tornado warning. So here's the one in Terre Haute. Now the rotation is past Terre Haute. So if you're in Terre Haute at this point, the rotation is past your location. If you were in Rosedale, if you were in Bridgeton, I'm going to butcher this name probably, but Fontenette, maybe, right there. That is where the rotation is. And then further off to the north, Lafayette now no longer in the tornado warning. I think somebody said earlier there was a tornado report in Flora. It's not there yet. It's tornado. The storm is not to Flora yet, so I'm skeptical of that report there. But you can see the Boeing segment working into Delphi. I'd say this rotation has weakened a little bit at this point, but regardless, you've got some damaging wind potential with this 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts as this moves out of Tippecanoe County towards Flora and Delphi right now. Starting to see multiple different kind of Boeing segments here. Look at Crawfordsville. 70-mile-per-hour plus wind gust likely about to move through downtown Crawfordsville within the next few minutes. And then we have this new severe thunderstorm warning that was recently issued. This is also for considerable wind damage potential and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that's going to include Brazil, Clay City, Greencastle, guys, all the way up towards Rochdale. And eventually, this will be the area that we probably need to watch for the Indy metro area.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I'm seeing as I'm watching radar to my left is I'm seeing maturity. I'm just seeing it actually a little bit more organized, and more, that line is becoming more defined.
Mm-hmm.
And with upper 70 dew points and Cape at 4,000, this thing's going to rock us. I mean, it's going to hit everybody pretty hard. I think everybody out ahead of it in central Indiana needs to be ready for the potential of 75-mile-an-hour winds, if anything. Rain and lightning, obviously, but yeah, nonetheless, it's certainly looking healthy.
Yeah, so if you're in this corridor, that's kind of where the most organization. These storms down here in southern Indiana trying to get their act together a little bit, as you alluded to. I would imagine that potentially as they move towards Bloomington, by that point, could be looking at more intense storms. But right now, it's kind of in this corridor is where it's the most organized. It's not messy in nature at this point. There's not really a lot of storms behind, which means your rear inflow jet here is starting to get going. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's click on it. It's for 70 mile per hour too. So pretty much this entire line at this point, from, let me zoom all the way out, from northern Indiana all the way down to Evansville, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So it's the whole state. The whole state at play here for 70 mile per hour wind gusts, damaging wind potential, and a couple of tornadoes as we work over the next couple of hours. So I think, what was it, Michael? 5:15, 5 o'clock is what Matt had estimated for Indy?
Yes, 5:15 for Indy.
So.
Sorry,
You're good.
You know what I'm doing. I'm just doing everything. Is that the new one you just covered in Southwest Indiana?
Yes. Yep. New severe thunderstorm warning. That includes Jasonville, Washington, Indiana, along the I-69 corridor for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We'll look to see if there's any rotation signatures. Not seeing much. Some broad rotation still here north of Brazil, Indiana, but not seeing major rotation. Certainly some gnarly wind gusts, though. I'd be curious to see what kind of damage reports are possible that with that storm that just moved through Terre Haute. Look at this down here, even 80 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's interesting, Brett, is the Derecho composite it's high.
Yeah, and this isn't your typical setup for that. This is definitely turning into a big line of wind.
Yeah,
which is what a derecho is.
Yeah,
but there's a second type of derecho that does happen, just not as common. I'm trying to remember. Serial derecho.
Yeah. I can look at the definition because I remember it as well. Let me look here real quick. They have three. They have a serial, progressive, and a hybrid. The type of derecho most often encountered during the spring and fall is the serial derecho, produced by multiple bow echoes, typically associated with an upper level trough or a strong surface low, which so this one would be a serial derecho for sure.
Yeah.
The progressive derecho is the one that's very long and wide and long track, 250 miles long, so yeah, this would be called a serial derecho. And by definition, this is that by definition.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that as it moves across Indiana, you can almost see it starting to have two different bowing segments. There's one here.
Yep.
There's a small one here.
Yep.
There's another small one here. But I'm wondering if we're starting to have kind of one here, and then the southern piece is going to kind of get organized and bow out. And you're going to have kind of two separate segments with the southern one. The northern one was more dominant at first, but it's starting to maybe weaken a little bit, starting to get a little bit less organized. And now the southern piece with the greater instability starting to become the more predominant one.
James says, any chance this would gust itself out? That typically doesn't happen until there's a sharp decline in instability, and that is not the case anytime soon. With the sufficient moisture that's available and the amount of instability, I don't see that happening anytime soon. So the answer to your question would be right now, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 to 3 hours, yeah, I think it can start to gust out a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, we've got a while. We've got a while to go here. So 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts on this new severe thunderstorm warning. That includes Plymouth and Logansport, Indiana. So this northern piece still hanging on. Still have a tornado warning right now for this storm near Delphi, Indiana. We'll take a look. Again, Michael, I'm not seeing a whole lot here in terms of rotation at this point on this particular line. Maybe a little bit of some broad rotation here, but it's very weak. I would imagine that unless it re-intensifies, this tornado warning will be dropped.
Yep. Yeah, and I think too, one thing, a good message, for everybody is obviously nobody wants tornadoes, but just because there's not a tornado warning doesn't mean these things cannot produce significant levels of damage, as Brett has right there, 80 mile per hour wind estimation. That's the strength of an EF1 tornado, EF0 tornado. I mean, that's still winds that are going to cause serious issues. So, this is one of those lines of storms that it's dangerous no matter what, just because it's widespread. It's not like individual cells. It's a line that can impact literally everybody. And that's why these types of severe weather setups are a little different, because you're not dealing with one city or one county. You're dealing with every city and every county as it goes from west to east. So a lot of people are impacted by it. So just keep that in mind. It's just because you don't have a tornado warning doesn't mean these things can't blow your windows out or take your roof off. And that's being serious.
Well, and if a tree falls into it,
Yeah.
which, again, how wet it's been. We saw that this morning in Beech Grove, had trees down with 50, 55 mile per hour winds. So I just asked the team if there was any. I saw a couple of comments saying that there was a tornado spotted in West Lafayette. So I just reached out to the team to see if they could provide any confirmation with that. So right now, that tornado warning, again, guys, will expire in 12 minutes. It's now past Lafayette. But you still have storms in the area along with some strong wind gusts. Possible that leading edge, again, could provide up to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. They're not seeing anything yet in terms of reports up there, but we will let you know if we can get any kind of a confirmation up in Lafayette. Jason, there is a Clarity trial available for the business and the ag version of Clarity. Not for Clarity Home.
Brett, if you just take off all the warnings and you eliminate all the noise and you rock this back and forth, in the last 30 minutes, in the last hour, this line has dramatically organized. It's really getting its act together in terms of just a classic wall of wind.
Mm-hmm. I'll pull up Clarity.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. But you can just see over the last, the loop over the last hour. It's showing quite a bit of organization there in its setup. So Brett, I need to hop off, and I will come back. I've got a quick home service appointment that I've got. Our house is selling, and I've got a guy coming to do something. So I'll be back.
Don't they know that there's severe weather going on?
I know. Come on, man. So, okay, I'll come back in a minute.
All right, sounds good.
All right, bye.
All right, guys. So here's a look again at that loop that Michael was talking about. So you can just see, especially further down to the south, it was messy, messy cells about an hour ago. And now, just over the past hour, we've really confined this into a line, and it's gotten very organized here across west central parts of Indiana. It's maybe slowed down, Katie, a little bit. It slowed down a little bit, I think, as these storms were organizing. The line itself was struggling to move a little bit further to the east. It should be going pretty good. Latest timing that Matt had sent out to clients in the Clarity platform, I think, was about 5:15 for downtown Indy. And so 5:15 or so for downtown Indy was the latest update in terms of this line. You can see the storm's actually in the north, moving a little bit faster right now. They've kind of bowed out ahead, but it's those bowing segments that we're looking for in terms of the damaging wind potential. And we're starting to see a couple of different areas of bowing segments. And so for those of you asking about Indy, yes. In fact, if you're anywhere in Indiana at this point, if you were anywhere in Indiana, maybe outside of far southern Indiana along the river, and I think eventually we could organize things, but the vast majority of Indiana here includes the Indy metro area, includes Bedford, includes Bloomington, includes Danville, are at play for a severe line of storms. Damaging winds, 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, an isolated tornado, and very heavy rain and lightning, likely as this moves through. There's not any gaps in this line, guys. There's no gaps in this line. And so if you're out ahead of it, if you're east of what you see on the radar here, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit by strong storms over the next couple of hours. So again, this extends all across the entire state. I'll turn our alerts back on. We can see if there's any new warnings. No tornado warnings right now, guys. This one will be allowed to expire. It expires in 7 minutes, but this entire line is warned right now for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The entire line until you get all the way down towards Jasper, Indiana, where it's warned for 60. But we're starting to see, again, more organization here in southern Indiana as well. And so still waiting, guys, on confirmation in terms of the tornado in Lafayette. But I will do my best to confirm reports that we're seeing there in the comments about Lafayette. Somebody asking about the Derecho. So, guys, a Derecho is a damaging, widespread cluster of storms that produces wind damage for, I think it has to be 200 plus miles. And so typically when we get derechos across Indiana, they come from the northwest of the southeast. They kind of dive. This is what we call a serial derecho, perhaps, if it, again, officially goes that distance, which it looks like it will, associated with a long-lived line of storms along the front with a low pressure system. And so it's not our typical one, and it probably won't see 90 to 100 mile per hour wind gusts like what we often get in the summertime, but it can be classified as one if it goes that distance. So power out in Battleground. Thank you, Travis, for the report. And so now we just kind of watch and wait as this line pushes further off to the east. For more timing updates, guys, be sure to check out the Clarity platform. Scan that QR code in the top left or go to claritywx.com/sign up. Our teams are sending out timing updates, sending out all kinds of details in terms of tornado warnings, in terms of severe thunderstorm, wind gusts, you name it, and just giving you more detail there. And that's really the difference, is in terms of an app, in terms of a weather app. And we've got a team of meteorologists that are actively monitoring weather for you at all times of the day. So, all right, guys. I'm going to go back over to the other radar platform here. All right, so here's what we're looking at right now. I'll look around to see if there is any areas of rotation to monitor. Not really seeing anything notable right now, again, in terms of rotation. Well, we just need to watch some of these notches. We need to watch some of these notches. Again, I don't really see anything that indicates intense tornado signals or intense rotation signals right now. Terre Haute is not under a tornado warning right now. Terre Haute is not under a tornado warning. You are under a severe thunderstorm warning. That will expire shortly, though. Look at all of the bowing segments here, guys. All of this here, guys, basically indicating and a signal for very, very strong wind gusts. New MD for northeastern Indiana, Hope says. So I'll go back to clarity. Go back over to clarity. And I will turn on our MD. An MD is just a mesoscale discussion, which is just basically highlighting the potential for severe weather. And so, damaging winds. Yeah. Okay. So basically, this is just indicating if you're in this pink area, primary hazard ahead, going to be damaging winds, likely going to see 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts here as these storms move to the north and to the east. If you are in this pink highlighted area, an isolated tornado possible, but not going to be the main hazard as these storms move north and east across northern Indiana. Damaging winds will be the main hazard if you were in this area across southern Michigan, northeast Indiana, and northwest Ohio. And Amber, yeah, that's a great point. The winds certainly can be just as bad as a tornado. In fact, 80 mile per hour wind gust doesn't even have one tornado, and so certainly the damaging winds are nothing to shy away from. Somebody asked what the difference is between Clarity and Synoptic. So Clarity is our forecast platform where we're providing analysis and official weather forecasts, providing those Nowcast updates, timing details, video analysis. We're providing an hour-by-hour forecast and a daily forecast, future radar, you name it. Synoptic, guys, that's a weather model platform. And so if you watch weather models, if you've heard of the HRRR or the GFS or the European, that is where all of the weather models are housed for enthusiasts and for weather forecasters and meteorologists. And so Clarity is more of a forecast platform where we're providing a service, while Synoptic is going to be more of a data and a weather model data platform. So hopefully that helps there. All right, guys, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. That includes Frankfurt. That includes Kokomo here, guys. This is for 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So Kokomo, Lebanon, Frankfurt, Kirkland, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued here for this area. We'll go back over to this one. Yeah, right now, I would say that the strongest wind gust indications, man, that's insane. The strongest wind gust indications are Brazil, heading towards Greencastle, heading towards Linton, Indiana, and down to the south. And so I would say right now, my biggest concern for destructive winds, if you will be in this corridor here. Right through here. This is where the greatest instability is. So it's even a little bit further south than kind of some of the initial indications. But based off of the trends, this is the area that would have the greatest potential for 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Somebody asking what's the splotchy gray in central Indiana on the radar. That's just radar feedback. And so especially on a very humid day like this, where there could be some air particles where you could see bugs showing up. You can the radar can pick up on other things outside of just rain. And so it could be birds, it could be bugs, it could be particulates in the air from pollution, you name it, that the radar is able to pick up on. And that's those gray specks that you see there. It's not rain, it's just radar feedback is what we call it, or ground clutter, different things that the radar is picking up in the sky. Greatest potential for hail, I'd really say anywhere along this line, but I don't think hail is the biggest threat. It's so hot and humid today that I think it's difficult to get much bigger than a ping pong ball sized hail. An inch and a half in diameter would probably be the max. There's a new tornado warning. So we have a new tornado warning. This is just north of Logansport near Royal Center. This is going to include Fulton and Grass Creek. Heading towards State Road 25 here. This goes for the next 30 minutes. And so if we zoom in here, we look at our velocity signature. Again, it's messy in nature. I'm going to switch over to the Fort Wayne radar. There we go. You can see this little notch right in here. This is what they're seeing in terms of the rotation. This is working to the north and to the northeast. So if you're in Matea, along State Road 25, Fulton, Grass Creek, 12 Mile. Right now, this rotation is right over 35 here in Indiana, pushing to the north and to the east. So if you have friends and family in this area, I would be sure to let them know, tag them, tell them to take shelter immediately with this storm. All right, cooler air after it passes through. Yes, it should be a little bit cooler. Probably some strong wind gusts actually out behind this line of storms. Should be some strong wind gusts. So we're starting to see some reports come in. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust here in western Vigo County. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust here in Vermilion County. You can see a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust report out in Vermilion County, Illinois, as well. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust just to the west of Vincennes, Indiana. And so certainly seeing a lot of wind reports coming out right now. I'd be very curious to see once this passes Brazil, given some of the radar indications through this area, what kind of reports that we see out in Brazil, and then eventually working towards Greencast. So I'd be curious to see what other reports are in Terre Haute as well. All right, guys, I will get some updated timing on this. So these are moving generally, guys. Let's see, that said 65. All these, are saying different things. So I'm going to ask the team here real quick to make sure that I'm being consistent with what we're putting out on the Clarity platform. But we've got, again, damaging wind potential from the northern tip of Indiana and South Bend all the way down northeast of Evansville. And again, I think that if we just look at the velocity here, guys, this line certainly has the potential to produce more than 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. So a widespread damaging wind threat setting up in this corridor here, especially, I would say, over the next couple of hours. Latest timing that we had for downtown Indy is 5:15 p.m. Eastern time with these storms. Trying to draw out a new timing for you all, but again, it's been fighting me today. Yeah. All right. I'm going to answer a couple of questions for you all while I wait on that. Let's see. A close one sent to me a photo of a tornado touching down in Lafayette, and she's in Clark Hill. Again, we'll working to confirm those reports, but I've seen numerous of them at this point in terms of the tornado report in the Lafayette area. Goodland here, our power also kept going in and out. Nineveh, yes, you're going to get hit hard for sure. What's the greatest corridor for what? That's the greatest corridor in terms of the severe weather potential, Travis. That would include into Southwest Ohio as well. I think it's an isolated tornado threat. A couple of spin-ups possible. Let's see here. Crawfordsville, guys. Crawfordsville, you're getting hit pretty hard right now. I'd be curious what kind of reports we see out of that. That storm is warned right now for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Lebanon, yep, Lebanon, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Is there a chance it's going to calm before hitting central Indiana? Nope, I do not expect this to wind down at all. Columbus, you're going to get hit hard. Guys, really anywhere in central Indiana, anywhere that you see, I'm just going to circle. If you are in this area, you are going to see severe weather likely. I think the tornado threat is isolated, but if you were in this area, you are at play for damaging wind potential. If I had to highlight a corridor of the potential for the strongest wind gusts right now, based off of radar trends, it's going to be through here, where 70-mile-per-hour plus damaging winds will be possible. So that kind of narrows, or at least helps a little bit. Let's see, 46. Okay, cool. All right, so team's getting about 46, 45 mile per hour. So I will get some latest timing for you all. As this moves to the east, 45 miles an hour. This is the leading edge. So the very start of the leading edge here, guys. And actually, I need to move that back a touch. Give me one moment, guys. There we go. All right, so this is the very initial leading edge. It may be a touch fast, if anything, because it's hard to get these little notches to be included within the line. But just to give a general idea, you're looking at Bloomington at about 431. Let's see, Bargersville at 440, Greenwood 447, Indianapolis at 450. Again, that might be a little bit fast for Indianapolis just because of this small notch and this gap here. It might be closer to about 5 o'clock for Indianapolis. Lebanon 450, Franklin 450, Zionsville 452, guys. Westfield, Indiana at 503. Columbus, probably 510 to 515. I'll slow that down just a touch. Seymour, you're looking at 518. Pendleton, 523. North Vernon, Indiana, out at about 530. And so this entire area that you see shaded in red will have severe weather potential. And there's a new severe thunderstorm warning right now, just as we talk about that. And this is going to be for, let's see here, 70-mile-per-hour winds. This does include Western Marion County. And so anywhere within the path of this storm, you have the potential for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, guys, again, Greencastle, Danville, Plainfield, Martinsville, Mooresville, and the Indianapolis airport. This goes for the next 51 minutes. So this goes for the next 51 minutes out towards 445. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. This is for destructive winds, 70-mile-per-hour plus wind gusts being possible here as this line moves in. So if you were in this yellow shaded area, I know we have a lot of people watching in here. Get inside now. You do not want to be caught outside in this storm. There's not a tornado signature on this right now. Not a tornado signature on this right now. But I do think that we can have wind damage with 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as these move through, along with heavy rain and frequent lightning too. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to be able to, on the radar on that list there, I'm not going to be able to go through every single spot. It's just not possible. There's 1,000 cities that I could go over. Again, if you want specifics for your location and to kind of be able to zoom in and see exactly the timing, I would get clarity It's going to give you an hour-by-hour forecast. It's going to give you a future radar. It's going to give you our custom analysis and timing. That's going to be your best bet there, which is that QR code in the top left. So I wish that I could get to everybody's questions, but it's not possible. So again, guys, here we go. Here's a look at the current setup. Again, severe thunderstorm warning, 16-mile-per-hour winds, Kokomo to Lebanon. Then we have this severe thunderstorm warning, Western Marion County, Morgan County, Danville, Plainfield, Mooresville, 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind potential, guys. With this, we go all the way down. You can see severe thunderstorms, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts heading through Bloomfield or heading into Bloomfield along the I-69 corridor down towards Washington. And then we have strong to severe storms down here as well, just north of Evansville, just west of Jasper, Indiana, further down to the south as well. But again, not seeing tornado or strong rotation signatures on this right now. We see some notches, so I still want to keep an eye on this as it moves towards the Indy metro area for some kind of weak rotation, but not seeing a strong signature for that as things stand right now. Yeah, guys, if the sirens are going off and you're not in a tornado warning, sometimes some counties set off the tornado or the outdoor warning sirens if there is a severe thunderstorm warning in a tornado watch, which is why it can be confusing sometimes. If you're not 100% sure, this is the only spot right now in Indiana that's under a tornado warning. That's including Fulton, Indiana. And again, that goes for the next 18 minutes. But if you're not sure, again, the Clarity platform, we're actually going to send you an alert, and you can set up that it can override your silent mode so that if there's a tornado warning, life-threatening situation, especially if it's in the middle of the night, I know that's not the case with this particular one, then you won't miss it. And trust me, it will wake you up, which is what you want in a tornado warning with that Clarity Home subscription. Yeah, we'll stay live until it hits central Indiana here for sure. Guys, I'm talking about the Clarity weather app. It's $99 a year. $99 a year. The reason it's $99 a year is we're sending you a custom analysis from a team of meteorologists. We're also providing you with radar tools. We're providing you with an hour-by-hour forecast, and soon our single-site radar, which will basically give you everything that you're seeing here and more. It's going to literally be the only all-in-one weather platform out there. You can delete all of your other weather apps once it's out. Promise it's going to save you a ton of time and stress if you get it. All right, guys. So again, here's the look. What we have, tornado warning right now. That's including Fulton, Indiana. Broad rotation. Again, continue to take shelter in here, but based off of what I'm seeing, Fulton, Indiana, I wouldn't be shocked if they drop this warning once it expires. Let's see. What's the difference between the consumer and pro on Clarity? So pro, the pro version, we divide it up into our ag and business plans. That's going to be where you can actually utilize industry-specific tools. So our ag package, you're going to get agriculture tools like spray forecasts and observed rainfall data and dew point and wet bulb globe temperature, evapotranspiration rates, and things like that. The business version, you're actually going to be able to ask us questions 24/7. It's kind of our consulting. It's what we do with the Cubs and the numerous minor league teams all across the country. And so that's kind of the big difference there between the Clarity Home version and the pro/business version of the app. All right, guys. Let me go back down here and we will take a look at how things are looking. Let me turn the velocity back on. I want to look at this. Again, once this storm passes Greencastle down through Jasonville and Linton, I would love to see if there's any reports. New severe thunderstorm warning, guys. Bloomington, Bedford. It's going to include Ellettsville and just west of Nashville in Brown County, the Hoosier National Forest here, guys. Includes Mitchell, Indiana as well. So this is for 70-mile-per-hour destructive wind gusts as this moves to the east. And so now we have severe thunderstorm warnings all the way from Lebanon, through Danville, through Bloomington, all the way down towards Mitchell, Indiana. These warnings, these big warnings that you see here, this entire area, this is warned for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is the main threat right now, is the damaging wind gust. That is the main hazard that you are dealing with as these storms move through for your area. No tornadoes on the ground near West Lafayette right now. In fact, the strongest storms in West Lafayette have passed your location. Don't be terrified. Not trying to scare people. Just giving a forecast. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. The biggest thing with damaging winds like that, don't be outside. Stay away from windows because you can get down trees. You can get debris even that's lifted up with damaging winds like this that can cause damage to your house or break windows. With this type of a setup, guys, just be smart. Stay away from windows. If you don't feel secure where you're at, go into an interior room. I don't think this is a situation where you need to be scared. And I think that, again, that's part of the reason that we created Clarity, is so that you all can know exactly what's going to happen when it's going to happen. So we can limit a little bit of the storm anxiety. I understand it for sure. But I don't want to scare anyone here. I want to be very clear. Damaging winds, destructive winds can cause down trees, can cause down power lines, can cause damage to homes. But if you just stay away from windows, I think you're okay with this storm. And obviously, don't be outside. Don't be driving around in these storms, given the strong winds. Is there another line or clusters forming behind? Right now, guys, by the way, line moving at about 45 miles an hour through central Indiana. 45 miles per hour through central Indiana. You can see some of the wind gusts reported back here, 70 mile per hour in eastern Illinois. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for 70 mile per hour wind gusts heading towards Warsaw as well. So new severe thunderstorm warning includes Warsaw, Indiana. Nasty looking storm here, heading right into that area. Eventually, we'll kind of head right towards the radar dome up here northwest of Fort Wayne, Indiana. See, Hope just messaged me. All right, so Hope just sent me 37,000 people without power in Illinois right now, and we have 41,000 already without power in west central Indiana. So starting to see power outages come in, over 80,000 people now without power in Illinois and Indiana. So in terms of the line, I'll get back to that question real quick. If we go out to Illinois, you can see there will be some additional development, but right now, not looking severe. And so after this main line, we do need to watch for some additional storms, maybe a couple of strong storms, but I do think that this main line is the main severe weather risk. So could be some additional scattered storms after this main line, not going to be as intense as the initial line. All right, guys. Tornado warning, Galveston, Indiana. I'm not seeing that. Unless Galveston is right here. This is the only tornado warning in the state right now, guys. Only tornado warning in the state right now is in Fulton, Indiana. And that will expire. This tornado warning does expire in 11 minutes. So if there's any confusion on tornado warnings, again, guys, Clarity Home, sending out those direct updates to your location, then there's no confusion. Ted, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate the compliment there. Does it seem like the storm is getting stronger, weaker, or staying about the same as it is? Probably, if anything, strengthening a little bit. It's continuing to work into a very unstable environment. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate that compliment. Yes, a serial derecho. So I'll double check to verify the precise criteria, but I think if it goes over 200 miles with widespread wind gusts of 58 plus miles per hour, then it would be considered a serial derecho. The difference between the quote unquote traditional derecho is this is associated with a low pressure system. You don't typically get these in June. They're more common, especially out in the plains in like March, April, and May. Typically, we get a derecho this time of the year that rides along a dome of heat and dives from northwest to southeast. May need to watch for that type of a setup later next week. Something to keep in mind. I don't have how many lightning strikes we have right now. I'll have to pull up Clarity here in a minute to check that out. Driving to Tennessee from Indiana. It depends on where you're going from. Depends on where you're going from. But right now, weather's okay down in Tennessee. All right, guys. New severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so this is definitely one that we need to keep an eye on. So there's a new severe thunderstorm warning that's going to include Bloomington, Ellettsville, and Martinsville, northern Monroe County, southwestern and southern Morgan County here, guys, out towards Bloomfield. This is for 80-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. Now, guys, this would also eventually work towards Johnson County, Indiana. So I'm going to time this out for you all. This storm's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So I'm going to get some more timing on this particular cell here, guys, because this one has the potential to cause some major damage as it moves northeast across the area. So again, guys, this is moving at 50 miles an hour. This includes Bloomington and Martinsville, so pretty populated areas here that are under the gun in terms of this warning. And I'm going to get some timing on it for you all so you all can see exactly when to expect it to arrive. So again, 50 miles an hour, kind of what we're expecting with this, guys. Bloomington expecting this to arrive here. Let me move this over. Bloomington expecting this to arrive at 426. 80-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts. We've got, let's see here, Martinsville at 436, out towards Mooresville at 448 with this storm. So again, the storm moving to the north and to the east. I'm going to turn on the cellular mode to maybe get a little bit of a better look at this here, guys. If it'll let me. There we go. So this is moving at 50 miles an hour. Once we get into Johnson County here, so we'll scroll down. Bargersville, 4:56 p.m. is when this will arrive. Old Bargersville, 4:58. Hopewell at 4:59. So, you're looking at Greenwood to Franklin probably right around or just after 5 p.m. With this line of storms. And again, this storm has the potential to produce destructive 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, guys. That is nothing to ignore. That's going to be a major wind damage event if it holds up as it pushes to the north and to the east. Yep. So 80-mile-per-hour wind gust. That includes Bloomington. That includes Mooresville. That includes Ellettsville, Indiana. Yeah, and this is heading in right during rush hour. And so, I'm going to highlight this corridor in terms of where this whole line, 70-mile-per-hour plus wind gusts possible. There's a narrow corridor right now where we're seeing locally enhanced winds of up to 80-mile-per-hour winds, which is going to push in this direction here as we work over the next hour to hour and a half. So southern Marion County, guys, through Monroe County, through Johnson County, and into Shelby County over the next hour to an hour and a half as we work through rush hour. Really, really damaging winds possible. Certainly, if you have 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, wind damage going to be on the table as this moves to the north and to the east across the area. So I think it's a good time to plug 811 dig because with those kind of winds and with the wind damage possible, certainly tomorrow as folks clean up, just be sure that you're using that free 811 dig number, free to use and to have them come and mark the utility lines to make sure that any yard work or any digging that needs to be done is safe. And of course, please be sure to stay away from power lines. It's one of the biggest dangers, honestly, is after the storm passes and there's power lines down, just stay away from them to keep yourself safe and report them to your local utility company. All right, guys. Let's take a broader picture here. So here's a look at what we're dealing with right now. Damaging winds all across the state here, guys. 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here with this storm in northern Indiana. This cell to the north, a little bit weaker, a little bit messier, working into Kokomo, working into Lebanon, but 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. And then this line really right on the doorstep of Danville, all the way down towards western Morgan County, and then heading towards Monroe County, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and then this localized area of more intense wind gusts being possible with 80-mile-per-hour damaging winds, Martinsville, Ellettsville, and Bloomington, Indiana. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Give me a moment to catch my breath here. We've been on for an hour and a half. Not too bad. Not too bad. Shouldn't be on as long today as we were on April 2nd. I think we were live on April 2nd for about 5.5 to 6 hours. Gary, Indiana, you should be past the worst of it at this point. Southport area, Indy metro area, guys. If you're in the Indy metro area, you're looking at about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock or so, give or take, depending on where you're at in the city. It's when it's going to be impacting. So in the next hour, these storms will be moving through the Indy metro area. Let me see if the team has any updated timing on clarity real quick. Okay. Timing looks to still be on track there. Thank you, Lori. Cloverdale, Spencer area, husband is driving, said possible tornado. There could be some rotation on these storms that doesn't necessarily get down to the surface. All right, let me zoom in here. We'll look into this area a little bit more. Yeah, guys, I'm not really seeing... Looking at Spencer, not really seeing any rotation here, guys. You can see we can watch these little notches. These little notches are what we need to watch, but I don't see anything that's all that concerning right now. Looks like mainly wind at this point for most of these storms. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just kind of going up and down the line and just trying to see if there's any areas of rotation that really, really stand out. And I'm just not seeing anything super notable. You know, if there is maybe an area that's a little bit more worth watching, kind of along Interstate 74 here, there's a little bit of a notch, but even here, it's probably not worth a tornado warning at this point. So just not much of a rotation indication anywhere on this line right now. Wind, certainly the biggest threat here. Does anybody have any advice for a home that doesn't have any interior rooms with no windows? Would the safest place simply to be the center of the house? Yeah, center of the home, a bathroom, bathtub would probably be the safest place. Do we know how bad it will be for Indianapolis? Yep, likely to see 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts here shortly after 5 o'clock. What's 6 times 3? I'm not sure what that means. Guys, there are no tornado warnings in the state of Indiana right now. No tornado warnings in the state of Indiana right now. So there is a tornado watch, but there are no tornado warnings in Indiana at this time. So Columbus, you're at play for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts as this line moves through. Wind is going to be the primary threat all across the state. All right, guys. Thank you, Jefferson. I appreciate your compliment there. Thank you, Terry. Yeah, I'm not seeing much rotation right now. Right now, guys, it's just to be frank, it's just a line of wind. Right now, we're just dealing with a line of wind. I'll stay on it at least until it works through the Indy metro area. But unless there is more rotation indications, I'll probably let it get through Indy and then let the team with the Clarity platform do the rest of the work, because right now it's looking definitely more like a wind threat. But I definitely want to stay on with this 80-mile-per-hour destructive wind potential as it moves through this highly populated area. But I don't have a whole lot minute by minute to analyze right now, because right now it's just wind. There's not much in the way of rotation or notches or even anything to watch aside from just a major wall of wind coming for most of central and southern Indiana. If you're in this area, this is where the 80 plus mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. You can see that's Bloomington, that's Martinsville. I'll zoom in maybe so it's even a little bit easier to see. This is where the 80 plus mile per hour wind gusts are going to be possible. If I extend it past the warning, it's in this area in here. Elsewhere, if I zoom out, elsewhere, pretty much from here all the way down into southern Indiana, you're looking at 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with this line. So if you're in anywhere in this pink box, you're going to be at play for 60 to 70 mile per hour damaging winds. So right now we're just kind of monitoring this more notable area of strong wind gusts. Will the tornado watch get pulled as it moves through? I doubt it. Because of how intense the winds are, they probably keep it just as a precautionary measure. Still looking at about 5 o'clock for the Indy metro area. Yeah, guys, I don't know why there would have been a tornado warning alert sent out from Martinsville. I will double check to make sure that the radar. Yeah, no, there's no tornado warning. There's no tornado warning from Martinsville, Indiana right now. You are in the destructive wind area for 80 mile per hour wind gusts, but it's not a tornado. There is not currently a tornado warning in Martinsville, Indiana. So I'm not sure why that would have been sent. I would, whatever app sent that, I would delete it. Okay. Brett, do sirens still go off if there's a severe thunderstorm warning during a tornado watch? Karen, that's a great question. It depends. Honestly, there's not any kind of a standard. Some counties do it if there's a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado watch, and others don't. It really depends on where you are, which is why that system can be so frustrating sometimes, because there's not any rhyme or reason to it. Different counties do it different ways, which is why it's so important to not just rely on the tornado sirens to get your alerts. All right, guys. So our team just sent out a new Nowcast for Central Indiana. So I'm going to refresh Clarity, and I'm going to show you all the Nowcast because it's going to give you updated timing, more detailed timing as this line moves through. All right, guys, so here we go. Here's the updating timing graphic. The red lines, if you are between the red lines, this is where the team has sent out to everybody on the Clarity platform for heightened risk for wind gusts near 80 miles per hour. This blue dash line, this first one's 510. Second one is 610 for folks in Southwest Ohio, because I know that we have some folks down there. 710 is where we're at. So that is the timing Again, it's 4:20 right now, 4:15 when this was sent out. So again, you're right about 5 o'clock or so for the Indy metro area, which we've been talking about for a while. It was 5:15, sped back up just a little bit. 80-mile-per-hour warning for the Indy metro area. Let's go to clarity. Here we go. New severe thunderstorm warning for the Indianapolis metro area. That is for 80-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, guys. That is certainly, with rush hour traffic, a major concern. If you have friends and family in the Indy metro area right now, that are driving, that are leaving work, trying to decide whether to leave work or not, you need to let them know. Probably safer for them to stay where they're at. They do not need to be out in this storm in the middle of it, okay? And so stay away from windows. Don't be out and about. Either get to where you're going now or stay put. It's not a tornado warning, but 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts, that's destructive winds. And so if you're in the Indy metro area, you need to be prepared for this now. Again, the team just sent out that update, and there's that warning there for Marion County, Indiana. Includes Plainfield, it includes Beech Grove that had damage this morning, and it includes the downtown Indy metro area. I'm going to turn some of the noise off here, guys, on the radar. Turn off some of these other alerts so you can see it a little bit better. I'll also turn on the lightning for you all. So here's where our office is. Here in central Indiana in Greenwood, guys. And so what we have here, the rings that you see, this is just our lightning rings. And so for events and baseball teams and organizations, you name it, schools, they can customize these lightning range rings and basically set it to their standards and get alerts for them. Right now, let me close this. Looks like there's a new warning. I'll go check that out here in a second. Double checking. But guys, again, the lightning range rings basically going to just alert me based off the specific needs that I have. And it also shows cloud to cloud and cloud to ground lightning. Let me double check what that warning was to make sure. Okay, so we do have a new tornado warning. So I'm going to go back over to the other radar here, guys. So we do have a new tornado warning that has just been issued for parts of Hendricks County here. This is going to include Zionsville, Indiana. Michael just joined, so I'll have him hop on here in a moment and chat a little bit. But we do have, again, a new tornado warning. This includes just north of Brownsburg, Indiana. There's also a new severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, I can see the rotation. So let me pull Michael in here. Perfect timing.
Hello.
Hello. So, yes, we have a tornado warning now. Welcome back. Tornado warning.
Yep. I see that. And I see, so this kind of what we talked about a little bit ago, Brett, with this kind of getting in over central Indiana and really getting going. So, yeah, you are probably hearing tornado sirens out there in northeastern Hendricks County, northwestern Marion County, and southeastern Boone. In fact, you're probably hearing the sirens in all of the counties there, but you can see where Brett has up on the map exactly where the threat is. And it is just east along 74 there, just north and east of Pittsboro and Brownsburg. It's radar indicated, so it's not a confirmed tornado, but there is a tornado warning now. And if you're in places like Fayette or Zionsville or just south of Whitestown, need to be getting into shelter right now. And I will tell you, the warning verbiage for the severe thunderstorm warning for Indianapolis and the severe thunderstorm warning getting into portions, well, that one just has been changed. But Hendricks County and Marion County, that warning right there, the verbiage is for destructive thunderstorm winds. And so if you go, yeah, Brett, it's not showing.
I think it's not showing because they issued this other warning on top of it.
Yeah, but the verbiage actually does show 80-mile-per-hour winds with the damage threat being in the destructive category, which is, going to have the potential to really be pretty nasty. And again, I think this is one of the stronger thunderstorms we've probably seen this year. Mm-hmm. collectively as a line and as a whole aerial coverage, this one's going to pack a serious punch. So just be ready. It's coming in now into Plainfield. It's coming into Avon.
It's a little notch here.
Yeah, a little notch there, and maybe some quick spin up potential there. I wouldn't be shocked if that actually goes tornado warned by the looks of it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can change to the terminal radar and maybe it'll show it a little bit better. Getting pretty close to the radar dome there. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. It's because it's so close, but
There's just such a notch.
Certainly a notch there.
Yeah. So that's one worth watching in Plainfield. And again, we do have the tornado warning, which includes Zionsville, Indiana, and it includes Whitestown. To me, gosh, it's gotten very messy very quickly in terms of the rotation, but need to at least watch for some kind of a spin-up risk crossing along the I-65 corridor into northwestern Marion County, parts of Hendricks County there, towards Zionsville, Indiana as well, as this moves to the north and to the east. And then again, not to ignore this. I mean, this probably as big of a threat as any in terms of 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And I was telling people earlier before you hopped back on, just, people heading out towards rush hour, probably just stay where you're at now. You don't need to get stuck in traffic in the middle of this storm.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I wouldn't be. That's going to go right over the Indy ASOS airport there. The Indy airport's probably need locking down for that. We'll get a good read on what the observed winds are for sure, as it goes right over the dome there, right over the ASOS station at the airport. But yeah, and then additionally, Brett, just looking to the southwest in southern Morgan County near Paragon, and then just west Monroe County there, just east of Bloomfield, still getting indications on radar of up to 80-mile-per-hour winds. I would imagine those destructive thunderstorm verbiages will have to be expanded to possibly include Bloomington and Morgan County. So the wind suggestions are still pretty nasty with that particular area.
Yeah, I would imagine it gets extended out in this area here. So, 70 to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts heading in this direction. Johnson County, Shelby County, Bartholomew, northern Bartholomew County, northern Brown County. I would expect that warnings are expanded with the next update in this area.
Yeah, it should be any time, really. Some of these counties, Brett, which I know we may or may not have covered, some of these counties potentially are sounding tornado sirens under severe thunderstorm warnings because there's a tornado watch out. So
yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, yeah, just something to keep in mind is again, which is in this situation, whatever, it's not. You're still looking at a really, really nasty storm with a wall of wind, but just something to keep in mind. You may be hearing tornado sirens in spots for not necessarily for a tornado.
Sure. Yeah, which again is why I was talking about Clarity Home. Just prevent that confusion from happening. You need a single source to prevent things like that from confusing people.
How many people are watching right now, Brett? I can't tell.
We have a little over 5,000.
Okay.
Across all platforms.
Yeah.
So, Boone County has tornado sirens. Now, part of Boone County is in a tornado warning right now. Bargersville, Bartholomew County, you're in the line. Guys, really anywhere in Indiana at this point, severe winds possible. We do have a new tornado warning that has been issued in northern Indiana right now. Up here, you switch over to the Fort Wayne radar. But we do have a new tornado warning here towards North Webster and Napanee and Benton, just to the north and to the east of Warsaw, Indiana. And again, this is just for notches along the line here, guys. Yeah, you can see it. Shoo.
Yeah.
Here, I would imagine they're probably watching this area too. Really heading right towards the radar dome here as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, guys, just continuing to monitor here. Just widespread damaging winds. I clicked on the wrong radar. There we go. Trying to get our velocity back up. There we go. So again, Indy metro area, you're looking at 5 o'clock or just before 5 o'clock in terms of this 80-mile-per-hour wind gust threat moving right through downtown. We've got damaging winds moving probably through Plainfield, Danville right now. Should be about over the Indy airport at this point. We've got plenty of lightning with this as well. And then we have the secondary area 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible moving through eastern Morgan County, northern and eastern parts of Monroe County, western Brown County. And I think this warning here has been embedded for 80-mile-per-hour wind potential as well.
Now that the storm's over the radar dome, it's probably hindering its ability to get stretch out. So,
all right, guys.
Yeah, like I said, I'm surprised because coming into Monroe County, you got radar indicated winds now of 83, 84 miles an hour. Could potentially be just the height, the beam height issue.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I mean, still, it's with that low level jet as cranked as it is, mixing those winds to the surface really shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and extend the warning in here.
Yeah.
Given how fast it's moving, I think that I would go ahead and start preparing now for the potential for at the very least 70+ mile per hour winds, but there could be some embedded 80+ mile per hour winds as well. There it is. Look at that.
How about it?
How about that? So it's for 70. It's for 70.
Okay.
But considerable wind damage. Wow, that's almost the exact same area that I drew. Franklin, Columbus, Shelbyville, Greenwood. This goes for the next 42 minutes. So this is out through 5:15 p.m. So 5:15 p.m. Eastern time. Severe thunderstorm warning for all of Johnson County, most of Shelby County, most of Brown County, the northern half of Bartholomew County. And this now covers the rest of Marion County as well for the next 42 minutes or so. And then right now, the strongest potential winds moving right through the Indy metro area. Any second now, moving into the Indy metro area. It's about to hit the 465 loop in western Marion County. It's likely hitting the airport as we speak right now. And then we do still have this tornado warning in effect for Whitestown, Zionsville. You still need to be sheltering in there, though I don't see major rotation signals continuing to increase in that area at this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
She's going to be here in a second.
So, guys, if somebody asks who should be taking shelter right now, if you're in the red area, if you're in this red polygon, Brownsburg, Pittsboro, Zionsville, Whitestown, you need to be in shelter right now. If you were in this yellow, any of the severe thunderstorm warning areas, you need to be inside. You don't need to be outside. You don't need to be near windows because we're dealing with 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts right now. So, airport is reportedly out of power. Well, somebody just said they're at the airport, so they can.
Oh, interesting.
Verify that. But,
that's a family friend. I know who she is. Interesting.
But, Hope texted me and said the airport is reportedly out of power, so we can see if we can confirm that or not. 10 minutes south of her. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, guys, with situations like this, it's a great time to make sure, like Brett said, to eliminate confusion and make sure you're getting information specifically for you. Again, it is utilizing that Clarity Home package and those warnings and all that being for your location. And you don't have to wait for sirens or free stuff or this, the TV to pop on. You're going to get that information sent to you right away. So with a line like this, it's important. Get information you can trust. That's going to keep you safe. So, Clara, bamwx.com, right on the home screen, go to sign up. It's $99 for the year. And we've got single site radar coming. What we're showing you right now on the screen, we've got that coming to Clarity included in this. Very, very excited. So, I just wanted to pop that up there.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. So, here's an overview. Here's what we're looking at right now. All of these warnings are for 70-mile-per-hour winds. We do have the tornado warning to the north here as well, up to the north and to the east of Warsaw towards Napanee, Indiana. And then we have the tornado warning that expires in 9 minutes. I don't think right now that's going to be extended based off what I see. But that does go for the next 9 minutes. It includes
Brett.
Yes.
Sorry to cut you off. Zoom way down in. I'm getting 107 mile per hour winds in Indianapolis.
Holy moly.
Just east of the dome there, right in there. Some really, really, really strong wind suggestions. Your scan looks to be...
There we go.
Yeah, there's the new scan. Go up a little bit. Up. Right there, west of... right there you go. There's some really, really strong wind indications in there.
Along this line.
Whether we can verify that, I don't know, but if that's true, even if it's half of that, I mean, those are really, really nasty wind indications. So if you're just west of Indianapolis in the Marion County metro area, take that serious. That's some strong wind indicator there.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, I'm getting spammed left and right. Turn this.
Yeah, guys. So just kind of to zoom in here, this is kind of the leading edge of where maybe the strongest wind gusts are. So again, it's working right through downtown right now. So right into downtown, likely going to be seeing some extreme destructive gusts moving through. So very curious to see what the reports end up.
Holy crap! The new scan, Oliver Avenue, 115 miles per hour. I don't know, the validity of that, but that is some really, really, really nasty wind. I've not seen velocities like that close to the dome. That's impressive.
Wind is insane in Bloomington. No visibility, no power in Brownsburg. Let's see. There's the new radar scan. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have to verify that. That's it's got to be wrong, right?
You sure hope so.
71 mile per hour report initially at the airport 4 minutes ago.
71.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm outside right now at my house, and wind is absolutely picking up. So in Barkersville, we'll see what we get here. Woo! Wow, the trees are bending.
Yeah, you're about to be hit hard.
Holy crap. I'm not sure I've seen that before. I may have to...
You might have to go inside.
Wow.
So, guys, just to kind of zoom back out, do a quick overview. Anywhere in the yellow shaded areas, severe thunderstorm warning, 70 mile per hour winds. And then we have the one in downtown Indy for destructive winds of up to 80 miles per hour and maybe potentially even higher. 71 officially reported at the airport. And then this tornado warning should expire in Zionsville here shortly.
Wow.
Where in Indianapolis? Downtown Indy. Downtown. Canby has lost power multiple times. Northern Indiana, we do have a tornado warning still going on up here. Radar indicated that goes for the next 20 minutes. Just quickly look at that. That includes New Paris and Benton and Millersburg along State Road 33 here.
Okay, let's head inside. We're going to head inside, Brett.
Yes, please do. Get out of the storm.
You grab my pen that just fell? There we go.
All right.
Well, those winds aren't messing around.
Yeah, let's see. So Amina says they lost power in Greenwood in the Center Grove area. Plainfield, you're still getting hit right now. You're not in the clear. Yeah. We've got reports in Western Johnson County of power outages. So, oh man, somebody said
we haven't lost it yet, but
somebody said we landed at the airport just before it hit, and we are having to stay on the plane until it passes. The plane is rocking.
I just clocked a 64 mile per hour gust at my house just now.
Okay, so officially 64 at Michael's house. Yeah, Trisha, that's terrible. That shouldn't happen. Power out by Center Grove High School. Not much going on in Greenwood. It's not there yet. It's not quite to Greenwood yet. Warsaw, Indiana, you're up under a severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado warning is north of you, though. But yeah, guys, just a widespread wall of wind. We're about to get hit here at the office. I'll be curious to see if the power stays on. I may have lost. Oh, did I lose Michael?
You didn't lose me.
Okay. So, guys, we're getting flooded with questions for your specific location. I'm not going to be able to go through and answer every single one. If you want a more specific forecast for your location, scan that QR code in the top left or hit the sign up link in the post. That's going to give you down to the minute details, where exactly the warning is, how long the warning lasts. You know, our team's timing it out for you as well to give you more proactive information. That's going to be where you can get more detail in the platform, in the app.
I'll go through real quick, Brett, and I'll read a couple of leading edge, just where I'm seeing. Really, if you're from all the way to Kokomo, down all the way through, down in Brown County, I mean, it's just it's a wall of wind, 60 to probably 85 miles per hour. As it lasts for probably about 30 seconds. And then it's just heavy rain, lightning. But if it likely knocks out a lot of power, but like I said, it's just a wall of wind. So, everybody's going to kind of experience the same thing. I would say the strongest of it right now is going through probably Marion County. Unless you're seeing any other indications, but
yeah, I think the strongest right now is right through Marion County. It's where the Boeing is, guys. If you look at the Boeing right now, it's kind of happened right over here, just in the past 30 to 40 minutes or so. The Boeing segment here, guys, in terms of the Indy metro area, this is where the strongest wind gusts are going to be. I almost feel like you can see a rear inflow jet through here. Typically, when you get this clearing behind the line, that's where the strongest winds are going to push the storms out. Hope is sending some shelf cloud images in Slack that I can share here in a little bit, but that definitely is where the worst of the Boeing segment is right now. It's why you've got 80 mile per hour winds in downtown Indy.
We've got right now reporting 73,000 customers without power. I'll share this map real quick. This was as of almost 10 minutes ago. You can see the core of the power outages there in central Indiana, but it probably these will expand as the next update rolls in, but probably well north of 100,000 folks without power right now as this line moves through. And again, you can see how we're talking about the whole state being impacted. Almost every county in Western Indiana has power outage reports. So as it continues to move east and this map updates, I'm sure that will probably, the number of outages will probably increase here over time. So again, for those of you asking what's possible, it's really, really strong straight line winds with lightning and heavy rain, and the possible rain wrapped tornado. I recorded a 64 mile per hour wind here in Bargersville. I believe Brett said 71 at the airport. Is that what you said, Brett?
Yep, 71 officially at the airport.
Yep. So, guys, and a lot of folks on here talking about being really scared and freaking out and panicking, and I wouldn't. This isn't a life-threatening situation by any means. It's not like it's this is something to be overly stressed out about. I understand thunderstorms make people anxious and they're afraid of them, but if you're indoors, a storm like this isn't going to do a whole lot to you. And you might lose power or a window might blow out, worst case, but this isn't the type of storm that's probably going to blow your house over.
No, like you said, stay away from windows. I think honestly, some of the biggest danger with these storms is after them. If there's power lines down, don't approach the power lines, and sometimes you can't even see them. Luckily, it's light out right now. If it was dark, it would be worse. But a lot of injuries and deaths happen after the fact. People get out of their cars to look at damage. They don't realize there's a power line on the ground and they get electrocuted. And so, that's why you need to stay in your car, avoid those things. If you see a down power line, don't try to drive over it or drive through it or go check it out. Report it. That's the whole 811 dig initiative that we're working with, is just safety. And, report it to your utility company and local authorities and let them handle it. Don't try to be a hero. All right. All right, guys, let's see here. So here's our current situation. Again, let me go back to the velocity here real quick. Man, Michael, still just some of these radar indications.
Am I back? Brett, can you hear me?
Did you lose me? Yeah, you're back.
I lost internet.
Okay, I still saw you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me double check to make sure the office Wi-Fi is still on. We're good here.
It was my internet. I just didn't know what happened. So we're good.
But yeah, don't see any immediate tornado issues right now, guys. It's just wind. There could be a spin up. It's not out of the question. But wind and widespread wind damage are going to be the biggest threat here.
Whoa.
What was that?
That one was a little bit more than I bargained for. That one over 64 maybe.
So, all right, guys. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Jason. Good note there in terms of the utilities. Wind should be here at the office now. Let me
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how it works out for you. I think the office power is the greatest.
We're okay right now, but I have my door closed, so who knows what I'm missing out there. New severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to include let's see, Salem here, golf ball sized hail. It's the largest hail we've seen so far. That's this storm here down towards Paoli. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for 70 mile per hour winds and golf ball sized hail. It's going to include the Salem area, Plattsburgh, New Philadelphia, Rush Creek Valley along State Road 135 here. So larger hail in the greater instability area further down to the south.
Brett, you may want to check just go over eastern Marion and eastern Hamilton counties again. Just with how strong the wind is still being.
Yeah, we've still got indications here of certainly 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I would imagine still could be a little bit stronger. The storm's warned for up to 80 in eastern Marion County right now. And then this storm, severe storm warning, Greenfield, Anderson, and Alexandria is also for up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts in here. This is working, at this point, the worst of it, and this leading edge is working right through eastern Marion County here. It'll be approaching Greenfield probably in the next, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes or so. Is the stuff behind the main line down south severe? Not at this time. Not seeing additional severe weather, at least at this time, out to the west. Could be a couple of scattered showers and storms, though. Westfield, heavy wind passed a few moments ago. Power on and off, but back on now. Let's see. Trees down on 31 north of 236. Traffic is backed up. Just kind of looking for reports. Fallen and split trees in southeast Indy. Guys, I appreciate any reports. Any reports that you all have certainly are helpful for our team and helpful for us to kind of relay to everyone here. We're getting hit pretty good now, sounds like. Here at the office, I think the strongest wind gust may have just missed us. Here at the office. Oh, I lost Michael. Michael's power or internet must have gone out. I lost Michael. Let me know if you all can still hear me okay, because with the storm coming in, the internet may struggle a little bit. Dustin says, be careful on your commute home from downtown Indy. Small limbs down on side streets and many power outages for stoplights. Office is in Greenwood. We're in northern Johnson County. Just joining. Will there be another storm later? This is the big storm. Yep, this is the big storm. Okay, thank you all. Let's see, Hope just messaged me. All right, cool. All right, guys, just continuing to watch these storms as they move through the Indy metro area here. Again, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings continuing further out to the east, really spanning all across central and southern portions of the state at this point, but no tornado warnings. We do not have any tornado warnings in effect at this time. We've had confirmed wind gusts of over 70 miles per hour at the Indy airport, and we've got multiple reports of power outages, guys. We've got reports of downed trees in the Indy metro area, and so these storms are packing a punch. And so if you are in, eastern Johnson County, Franklin, Indiana, Shelbyville, and then up towards Greenfield, Fisher's right now getting hit, Anderson, Elwood, and then eventually it'll go all the way up towards Marion and Muncie. All of these areas still at play for severe weather if you're out to the east. All right, cool. Yep, Michael is fine. His internet did go out with this storm. So that gives you an idea, gives you a little bit of an idea of, what we're dealing with here. Yeah, heavy straight line winds can knock objects away for sure, can lift debris, can cause downed trees, power outages, and all that. Matt says he's monitoring a couple of areas down here. So I'm going to turn on the Louisville radar here for a moment, and then we'll go back up to the north. But Matt is monitoring a couple of areas, a couple of notches here with a little bit of some severe weather. I would be watching this storm here, just south of Paoli. There is some rotation with this storm here. So south of Paoli, heading to the north and to the northeast, that's potentially one to watch for some rotation. So just keeping an eye on our friends down to the south. There's that new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Seymour, includes Salem for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. All right. Yeah, I wish the sirens were useful too, but definitely not to be relied on, unfortunately. All right, guys. A new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go back up to the Indy radar here. New severe thunderstorm warning that's going to include Marion, Indiana. Oops, let me go back. This is going to be for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So new severe thunderstorm warning here. And then the strongest of the storm moving through the Indy metro area right now. I'm sure that we'll be getting lots of reports here shortly once the winds leave the downtown Indy metro area. Yep, Fishers, you're right in the middle of it right now. Yep, Whiteland getting hit right now. All right, guys. Lights keep going off and on in Franklin. Yeah, Franklin, you're right in it right now. Franklin, you're getting hit right now. It'll be moving into Nashville, Indiana shortly. Columbus, you're next up after that. Greenfield, again, guys, I think that the Boeing segment here would indicate that the strongest wind gusts are still probably on this corridor in here. So Greenfield, perhaps as far north as Anderson, kind of in this area, this is probably where your strongest wind gusts are likely going to be, and the highest potential for those 70 to locally 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts here over the next 30 minutes or so. This is kind of going to be the area in terms of where, based off of the Boeing segment that you see, likely where the strongest winds are going to be. But right now, again, guys, not any kind of a notable tornado threat. For those of you just joining, this is the main line. So this is the main line that we've been monitoring. You can see maybe a couple of showers and storms out to the west, but this will be the main threat today. So guys, what I'm probably going to do here, I'm going to let this get through the Indy metro area, through Johnson County and into kind of Shelby County here. And then we've been on for almost 2.5 hours. Because there's not a big tornado threat and it's primarily wind, we'll continue to keep an eye on things, but we'll let the team kind of do the work in the Clarity platform once we get this through the most populated areas. Take a quick break, but of course we'll hop back on if there's any kind of a tornado threat. But right now it's wind. Wind is the main threat here, guys. With this entire line, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, again, all the way through Johnson County, Shelby County, parts of Bartholomew County here, Brown County, Marion County, and again, Greenfield, Anderson, Alexandria, and eventually we'll work towards Muncie, Indiana as well. All right, guys. Yep, we appreciate it. Appreciate all of you all. Yeah, Greenwood, you're getting hit right now. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning. We kind of just talked about that. Well, there it is. New severe thunderstorm warning for 70-mile-per-hour damaging wind gusts, considerable wind damage possible. That goes all the way out towards Muncie, Indiana, just to the west of Newcastle. Includes Knightstown. Again, I'm surprised that they didn't extend that even a little bit further to the east to include Newcastle, because you're going to get hit. Newcastle's going to get hit. But this goes for the next 45 minutes. So next 45 minutes, Muncie to Newcastle. Greenfield, it's right on your doorstep right now. And again, guys, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So these storms right now, guys, are moving right at about 55 miles an hour. 55 miles an hour or so. Between 45 and 55 miles an hour. I'll split the difference and we'll say 50 miles an hour. Let's turn on this and we'll time this out for you all. Well, try to anyway. Okay. So we'll get some timing on this, guys. All right. So we've got Greenfield 507, again, right on your doorstep. Willow Branch at 516. Shelbyville 518. Wilkinson 520. Shirley 521. Pendleton 523. We've got Greensboro at 527. Circleville 529. Edinburgh 533. Probably a little bit faster than that for Edinburgh, Indiana. Daleville 537, Frankton 540, West Muncie at 543, Alexandria at 544. And that's kind of the general idea here over the next 45 minutes or so. Just lost power in Fortville. Yeah, let me see if there's any new updates. Hope if you are looking at this or you're listening, could you send me the latest map in terms of the power outages? Wind picking up super bad in Newcastle. Sirens in Marion County, Indiana, or in Marion, Indiana. Yeah, guys, I don't know. There shouldn't be sirens going off. There's not a tornado warning right now. There's a severe thunderstorm warning. Could be some large hail, some damaging winds in Marion, but right now, not seeing a signature for a tornado. Maybe some broad rotation worth watching, but no tornado warning right now in Marion, Indiana. No power at apartment in Fountain Square. Power flashing in New Palestine. Greenfield still have power. Franklin getting slammed right now. Power out in Trafalgar. Power flickering in Franklin. Thank you all for all of your reports. Let's see. Hope just messaged me. Power outages haven't updated since 447, but last check, 81,000 without power. I bet there's a lot more now in Marion County. Fishers, you're okay. You're just in the middle of the storm right now. Yeah, I think there just needs to be a siren that is on and off if there's a tornado warning, because it confuses people, doesn't it? All right. This is now through downtown Indianapolis in terms of the worst of it. Just updated. So now, as of 5:02 p.m., 117,000 people without power, and those reports are still coming in the Indy metro area. So over 100,000 people without power right now in Indiana alone. So worst of this right now, kind of break this down, worst of the storm are now past this area. If you are west of this line, you are past the worst of the storm. Severe weather should at this point be east of this pink line. So if you are west of this line, you're in the clear from a severe weather standpoint at this point. So that includes downtown Indy, that includes Bloomington, that includes Terre Haute, Danville, Plainfield. If you are east of that line, if you're in this area here, you are still at play for severe weather over the next hour, hour and a half, 2 hours or so. This area is still at play for severe weather. Biggest threats will be 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. That's what all of these warnings are for. They're all for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. The ones down here could maybe produce a little bit more hail in southern Indiana. It's not out of the question. Same thing with this storm up here in Marion. Could be some hail with that. But if you're in this pink area, you're still at play for severe weather. But if you're west of that line, you should be pretty much clear at this point. So again, guys, this is just wind, just pretty much wind at this point. Over 115,000 now without power. So real quick, guys, I do want to go down to Salem, Indiana. I'm going to go over to our Clarity platform because our team has issued a custom BAM tornado warning. Let me turn off the Conus lightning and I'm going to share my screen. So this area here that you see, this red dashed line. So this is southeast of Salem. This is where we've issued a custom BAM tornado warning based off of rotation that we're seeing. This is crossing State Road 150. Just to the south and to the east, here's Paoli. So it's just southeast of Paoli. Yeah, Indianapolis is past the worst right now. So if you're in this area, we did just send out a custom BAM alert for a radar indicated rotation signature for a potential tornado at this point. So that's really the only area that we're watching in terms of rotation at this time. All right, guys. Before we go, I'm going to, given that this has turned into pretty much just a wind threat, it's now working past kind of the core of the Indy metro area, I'm going to hop off for the time being. Again, it's mainly just wind, not looking at major life-threatening situations here. Just stay away from power lines, stay away from windows. Keep in mind there's probably going to be tree damage, power lines down, there's probably going to be tree limbs down. And just to take it easy and probably wait for the storms to pass because they will continue to work through eastern Indiana here over the next hour or so. But at the very least, going to take a break and kind of monitor these storms as they push east. Certainly, if you're in the eastern half of the state, you're certainly still at play for damaging wind potential, 60 to 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. That's going to include Muncie, Newcastle, Shelbyville, Columbus, Seymour, Austin, Indiana, and eventually out towards Richmond, Indiana, and Cincinnati. And so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll continue to update on our social media platform. In the meantime, if you want more specific updates for your precise location, scan that QR code in the top left. Get the Clarity Home, $99 a year. Probably a lot of people spend more on Starbucks in a month than that. Certainly more than it in a year. It's 100% worth it because you're going to get these Nowcast directly sent to your location with precise timing and details along with location-specific alerts and things like that in the future radar tool as well. And again, we'll have our single site radar so you can track things like all the other radar scope and radar omega and things like that here very shortly in the next couple of weeks. So guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll keep an eye on things. We'll keep watching, keep monitoring. We'll let you know if anything changes. But right now, the main threat at this point is wind. And that's what all of these severe thunderstorm warnings are for. Again, the main threat now past the Indy metro area at this point and exiting further off to the east. So appreciate all of your support. Really, really do. We couldn't do it without you all. And we will chat soon.